What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and we've got another hilarious Sarah Silverman video. This time, her taking issue with something she calls Jewface. This coming from someone who has dressed as the bad guy from WW2 and has done prominent sketches wearing blackface. This is someone who also thought construction markers on the grounds were those tangled symbols of the bad guys of WW2. Sarah Silverman is actually, in my opinion, a moron. Yet people keep asking for her opinion on things, even though she has a long and storied history of hypocrisy. This is what these modern Hollywood woke scolds do. They got famous with crass jokes and pushing the boundaries, and now they want to pull up the ladder behind them and close the door behind them. So now apparently the only people that can play Jewish characters in movies are Jewish people. Otherwise, lest you be committing Jewface. Before we get into all that, huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Hey, October is Cybersecurity Month, and they've got an amazing offer for you. It's 2021. If you don't have a VPN yet, there are several reasons why you'll want to sign up today. One, you can browse anonymously. Keep your browsing habits to yourself. You can keep your data away from big tech so that they can't resell it. And you can access region-locked content so you can open up a whole new catalog of online content to enjoy, whether it's anime or movies that might not be available in your area. You can get at it using a VPN. And the VPN I use on my phone, my tablets, my PCs, and my laptops is Private Internet Access, and they've given an amazing offer. It is just $2.08 a month, plus 2 months free, plus 3 free years of Private Internet Access's antivirus. If you haven't signed up today, use my link in the description or pinned comment down below to get Private Internet Access today. Well, if you don't have VPN yet, use that link in the description, sign up today, support the channel, and protect yourself. Sarah Silverman has a long history of being a moron. In fact, dressing as the bad guy from WW2 just to own Drumpf. This is also somebody who has done blackface sketches, like literal blackface sketches, and made jokes about them, saying that it had led to her eventually losing roles. Now, I don't think people should lose roles for comedic mistakes or mistakes that they've apologized for, but Sarah Silverman does. And so I'm 100% fine with people holding her to her own standards. Now, she is obviously, you know, an outspoken far lefty, just like most people in Hollywood who make their money being crass and offensive. But now, of course, now that they're too old to get work and they just sit on their podcast talking about the good old days, they want to judge everyone else for how they make their bones. That's partly why, you know, comedy's dead now. I'm not saying jokes have to be offensive to be funny, but I'm saying when you have comedians writing jokes basically at weapon point of cancel culture, you're not getting their best stuff. I mean, this is somebody who tweeted this out. I just want you to remember this. Walking to get coffee, and I saw these all over the sidewalk in the town I'm in. Is this an attempt at the symbols for the bad guys from WW2, or do they not have Google? This is a tweet I hope she left up. She did leave it up. Neo, yeah, people pointing out the cactus in Final Fantasy. D-list comedian doesn't understand the world she tells everyone else how to live in. That's original. Please tell us more about civil engineering symbols that make you see bad guys from WW2. And please keep tweeting like this. Don't stop. I left my mansion for 2 seconds to spend some money on overpriced coffee, and I saw these symbols. What is construction work? Are these the plebs that keep me awake in my penthouse in Soho? I knew I should have bought the 30th floor. I mean, everybody absolutely dunked on her for this. And I mean, this is again, these are construction. These are utility worker symbols. It's a construction marker. Innocent mistake for someone who gets burn in the oven at least weekly on Twitter. Still pretty close, though. So she literally doubled down on being a moron. It's not close at all, first of all. Second of all, I doubt somebody says that to her every week on Twitter. And if they do, that's messed up. You know, and then she at least admits she's stupid. Now, she slams Hollywood over Jewface casting after Catholic Catherine Hahn is cast to play proud Jewish actress and comedian Joan Rivers. This is, of course, the hilarious Hollywood idiocy. Like, RoboCop must be played by a half-human, half-robot man. That only gay people can play, members of the LGBTQ community can play LGBTQ roles. However, they can also play every other role. It's like, okay, fine. Then only white people can play white roles. Is that the role? Is that the progress that we want in this country? What does Sarah Silverman have to say about the new Anne Boleyn, who is played by a black woman? Is she speaking out against that? No, it isn't. So Jewish people, according to Sarah Silverman, get exclusivity rights on Jewish people roles, but also they should be cast in everything else as equals. Is that where we're going? So you want special treatment? Actress and comedian Sarah Silverman is slamming Hollywood for Jewface casting of Catholic Catherine Hahn to play late Joan Rivers. I would argue that most people that knew Joan Rivers had no idea or cared about her being Jewish. But anyway, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe that was a big deal for her. All I knew her as someone who had a ton of plastic surgery and talked about Hollywood losers. Silverman, who's now 50, says they're a long-running practice of non-Jewish actors and actresses being cast to portray Jewish. Oh, no. Are you saying that the actor, that Henry Cavill really isn't a Witcher? Are you saying Supergirl or Miss Marvel really can't, the actress playing Camilla Khan, she really can't, she doesn't have, Captain Marvel really isn't a superhero? And Brie Larson, I mean? There's this long tradition of non-Jews playing Jews. I mean, I don't know anyone who's in more power in Hollywood. That's an in-joke in Hollywood, isn't it? So aren't they the ones making those decisions? Just saying. I don't know. I don't know that to be a fact. I just know that's what people say. Who happen to be Jewish, but whose Jewishness is their whole being, she said during Thursday's episode. One could argue, for instance, that a Gentile, a non-Jew, playing Joan Rivers correctly would be what is actually called Jewface. She continued arguing that Han 48 portraying Rivers in Showtime's limited series The Comeback Girl is just a recent example of a long list of this phenomenon that she just made up. She's trying to say it's like blackface, which is completely different. Blackface actually has a place in history where it has negative, connotations about black people. It actually was racist. This, whatever she's saying, does not. Silverman argued that it's defined as when a non-Jew portrays a Jew with Jewishness at front and center. I mean, Seth Rogen, also a Jew, is playing Donkey Kong. Do we know that is Donkey Kong Jewish now? Is that what it is? Often with makeup or changing their features with a big fake nose and all that New Yorkie Yiddishy inflection. She claims that the practice is effed up, especially during a climate where identity politics and representation effing matters. It's time when the importance of representation is seen as so essential and front and center. Why does ours constantly get breached every day in the thick of it? I would argue that if there's one group of people that are not discriminated against in Hollywood, it would be that. Don't you think? She also argued that whenever a film or television plot calls for a female Jewish character who is courageous or deserves love, she's never played by a Jew. What? She cited additional examples, including Felicity Jones portraying Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What? Most people had no idea that woman was Jewish. Hulu casting Margot Martindale. Okay. What about all the roles that were played by Jews of people who are not Jewish. How is that different? The actress noted that while she doesn't believe these actresses are doing anything wrong, yes, she does, she wishes they would understand that the practice is not acceptable. She wants them fired. Make no mistake about it. She added that Jewish people also need to advocate for representation in the entertainment industry. Yeah, go ahead and launch that campaign. It has to also finally matter to Jews as well, she added, especially Jewish women. Ooh, she has not aged well. Yikes, what's going on with her eyebrows? It's not uncommon for someone of another race or ethnicity to be cast in a role. For example, Jewish James Caan portrayed an Italian-American, Sonny Corleone, in The Godfather. Corleone, sorry. Cher, an Armenian Cherokee, portrayed Loretta Castroni in Moonstruck. Natalie Portman, an Israeli-born Jewish woman, played Jacqueline Kennedy. However, Silverman's comments is not the first example of an entertainer questioning this trend. If it's 5 people all time, is that really a trend? I mean, really? Is this what we're worried about? So should non-Jews play Jews? Well, should white people play black characters? Should Asian people play Latinx characters? Is Jewish a race or ethnicity or ethno-religion, whatever the heck that is? It's saying that, however, writer Shira Fetter argued the opposite, telling Forward that this thing strips away Jewish culture. It's saying that as a culture, we want our Jewishness filtered through someone who isn't Jewish. This is more public acceptable when it's done by someone who isn't. She continued, in a true Jewish form, I'm answering the question with another question because I don't have the answers. Nobody does. My gut is telling me no. And when I'm smart, I listen to her. I mean, Barbara Streisand should rescind all the Christmas music she made. She's just jealous she isn't good enough to play the role. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. This woman is a moron and should be ignored or openly mocked, which is what I'm doing here. If you enjoyed this video and made it this far, make sure you leave a like and leave a comment on it. It helps new people find it. And also make sure to check out this video sponsor, Private Internet Access, and their gigantic special offer they have for this month. For you, if you don't have VPN, make sure you use that link down below and you get safe today.